Dead Things. Buffy deals with her relationship with Spike, while the nerds try to manufacture a relationship of their own.
We open with what sounds like a big fight, with things breaking as the camera moves across the floor, but it turns out that it's Buffy and Spike banging. So we're to the point now where we're not even going to randomly shove it in someplace in the middle of the episode. We are straight up starting episodes with them having sex. Great.
They have a normal, comfortable conversation, and Spike points out how strange that is, and he tells Buffy that he was struggling to keep up with her and calls her an animal, which makes her uncomfortable.
She then reverts to her usual message of the sex doesn't mean anything, and at this point I was ready for the episode to cut to anything else because I thought, man, there is nothing worse than having to watch this. But I was proven wrong as we cut to the nerds in their new hideout, which just looks like another basement.
And the stupid music in this scene just accentuates the stupidness of the characters. They talk about charging a cerebral dampener, which Warren says they can use to make any woman their sex slave. And at this point, my next note is, what a compelling start to an episode.
So the writing has also given up on the nerds.
I mean, was there ever anything going on with them? Interesting.
No, but removing any sort of perceived subtlety. And then we get the opening credits. So this is going to be the episode. I could not be happier, can't you tell?
We see Buffy at work at the Double Meat Palace, and I was glad she was still there. I really did think that it might end up being a one-episode thing. Tara comes by, thinking Buffy wanted to talk about something Willow had done, but it turns out that Buffy wanted to talk about the spell that they used to bring her back, to try to find out why Spike can hurt her now.
And they have this discussion in the biggest break room of any fast food place that has ever existed. Those employees are lucky if they have a closet to take a break in. And they're giving Buffy an entire warehouse. Meanwhile, the nerds are preparing to use their non-consensual orb, and Jonathan and Andrew are arguing about who they want to gangbang, while Warren is walking in a restaurant and decides for them.
He finds his old girlfriend Katrina and tells her he was hoping they could work things out, but she says no, he's a creepy weirdo.
Did you know it was his ex-girlfriend? Did you recognize her?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Because I did not. I was glad she gave that recap of what happened in the robot episode, because I didn't know who she was.
Yeah, I mean, I edited the other video, so I looked at her a lot more than... Well, that sounds weird, but...
Yeah, it does.
Anyway, let's...
And when Katrina tells Warren that he's a creep and he's gross, he whips out his tool, the magic orb thing, to convince her otherwise.
And of course, no one else in the restaurant notices the bright flash or the noise as he puts her under his thrall.
I love you, Master.
Buffy's done with her workday, and when she gets home, she immediately plops down on the couch, which was gross because she would be covered in grease and fast food stink, which is now a permanent part of that couch.
I wonder if we'll get comments from people that work at fast food places, but...
Yeah, the first thing they do is they take a shower with their clothes. And I also noticed that Buffy didn't have an extra pair of shoes, which she would, because if she worked at the Double Meat Palace, she would need a pair of non-slip work shoes.
Yeah, that's valid. She says she was hoping to just stay home and watch something with Dawn, but Dawn says she's going to a sleepover with Janice, the same idiot girl that she hung out with back in All the Way. And she points out that Buffy is never around.
And then Buffy tries to guilt-trip Dawn into not living her own life, but Dawn tells Buffy to f*** off. So Buffy instead decides to go to the Bronze with Anya, Willow, and Xander.
The nerds have Katrina serve them drinks, and they discuss her looks.
You forgot to point out that she's in a maid outfit.
That is true.
This f***ing show.
Warren tells the others they can do whatever they want with her after he's done, and he takes her into another room and makes her say that she should never have left him and that she loves him, and then he tells her to get on her knees.
And when she does, the spell wears off, and she is irate. She throws him out of the room, and the nerds scramble for the rape sphere, but when they try to use it, it fizzles out.
Katrina goes off on them, and surprisingly directly addresses that they were going to rape her, and tells Warren that he's going to learn what that's like when he gets locked up.
As she fights to leave, Warren grabs a champagne bottle and smashes her in the back of the head, which accidentally ends up killing her.
The other two are freaked out and want to turn themselves in before Buffy finds out, but Warren says he has a way to take care of Buffy and the body at the same time.
Warren suggests teleporting the body away or summoning something to eat it, but neither of those apparently are ideas that would work.
At the Bronze, Willow and Buffy watch Xander and Anya dance to some music that was not very plausible to hear there.
But it was a throwback to that episode, the musical one.
That's true, but it didn't make sense in-universe.
Correct.
Buffy mopes her way up to the upper level, where Spike finds her.
He asks what the gang would think if they knew who Buffy, quote, really was, and says that she loves getting away with it, and starts feeling her up. And I thought, why would Spike be there at that moment? It has to be in her head, and she'll turn out to be alone just thinking it, but it's not. He's actually there. He was actually waiting at the top for her to go up there, I guess.
And this is not the only time in this episode where Spike will just happen to show up in the right place at the right time. The next day, Willow and Xander encounter Tara outside the magic shop, walking out with a giant magic book.
Xander goes inside, and Willow says she's doing better, and she can even go into the magic shop now, which I'm pretty sure I said would make me hate the writing of the show even more if it happened. And hopefully Willow will not end up back at the magic shop during meetings and stuff.
She does say she needs to be supervised.
But why? Why is she going there? That would be like a crack addict saying, hey, I gotta go study at this crack den.
Willow and Tara have an awkward conversation where Tara says she was looking for Buffy, and Willow says she misses her because she's barely around. But they were barely talking to her already after bringing her back. What good friends. And Tara tells Willow she's glad she's doing better and then leaves.
Then we get this musical montage of Buffy wandering through the cemetery at night, and Spike in his crypt, and they end up on different sides of the same door. What did you think of this whole musical interlude?
Well, my note says there was ridiculous early 2000s emotional rock song playing. I don't remember what it sounded like, but I know I didn't like it.
I think that's what the subtitle said too.
I thought it was over the top, even for this show. Buffy tries to leave and get her mind off of banging Spike when she comes across a woman being attacked by demons. But when she tries to intervene, they seem to disappear.
She then sees the girl on the ground by herself, but the girl disappears again in a stolen Sam Raimi shot.
Buffy seems to find herself shifting around in time or something, with the girl, Spike, and the demons appearing and disappearing randomly, as well as hearing whispered voices saying, "What did you do, Buffy?" And I liked the shot of the woman getting down on the ground to cry. It was really funny because it was ridiculous. She goes over to the specific spot and then lays down and curls up and cries.
She kind of hit her mark. I do the same thing. Whenever I burst into tears, I say, what would be the most effective spot to do this? And in the last time flash, she ends up hitting the girl accidentally, and the girl rolls down a hill. And when Buffy follows her down the hill, she finds out that the girl is dead.
Which was also pretty funny. And then Katrina peeks out from behind a tree. And at first I was confused, but then I finally realized the woman on the ground was Katrina. But for some reason, we didn't get a good look at her, so I didn't realize that at first.
Buffy is distraught at killing Katrina, and Spike drags her away, saying he'll sort it out.
Meanwhile, the nerds are watching from the van when Katrina walks in, and turns out to have been Jonathan in magic disguise, but now with a real black eye. And Warren says that Katrina being dead is Buffy's problem now.
Spike tells Buffy to go home, so she does. We see her in bed, and of course Spike is also there, so they start banging immediately.
Then things start flashing to Katrina taking Spike's place, and Buffy staking her, and other weird stuff, until Buffy wakes up.
She goes to talk to Dawn, and tells her about killing Katrina, and that she has to turn herself in.
And Dawn starts complaining about how Buffy's never around as it is, and now she wants to get taken away.
She also throws out that Buffy can't stand being around Dawn, which didn't make any sense.
Correct. And she runs off crying. What a Buffy.
Buffy goes to the police station to turn herself in, but Spike stops her. And wildly, Spike is aware of, quote, time going wonky, so he knows that things are weird, and he says it out loud, but neither he nor Buffy bat an eye or consider investigating further.
And this is another time with Spike just conveniently happening to be there at the right time. He tells Buffy that no one would believe her story, and that he took care of things, and says no one will ever find the body. And then the police immediately walk out saying they found a body in the river. It was like something out of freaking Arrested Development or something.
Doesn't matter now. No one will ever find her.
Where'd they find her? The river. She washed up half a mile from the cemetery.
Spike still tries to stop Buffy from entering the station, and she beats the shit out of him. saying he's nothing and that she could never love him.
She goes into the station and tries to talk to the guy at the counter, but he's dealing with tons of phone calls, and she overhears him say that the dead girl was ID'd as Katrina. And she somehow remembers that that was Warren's girlfriend's name, and concludes that that's the only woman who was ever named Katrina, and she leaves.
And in the flashback, Warren didn't even say her full name. It was just part of her name.
Correct.
World's greatest detective. At the magic shop, Buffy is doing research on the demon she fought, which, why she didn't do that before, who knows, and finds out that they can distort time for humans. So the gang automatically assumes that Buffy didn't actually kill Katrina, and Buffy automatically assumes that it's actually Warren. Thank God they had a flimsy alternate account of events to fall back on immediately.
Dawn asks if this means that Buffy's not going away after all, and she says yes, she's not going anywhere. But instead of being happy, Dawn storms off. What a Buffy.
Yeah, into a closed room with a punching bag. I thought she would at least go outside and go somewhere else, but eventually she's going to have to come out of that room.
Well, you see, it's a cry for help. She actually wants somebody to go talk to her, but thankfully no one does.
Well, you understand feelings more than I do.
I'm no stranger to running off crying into another room.
The nerds assume everything worked out, and Warren says that they'll take care of Buffy if she shows up, which goes against everything they've been concerned about previous to now.
And they say that the coroner's report says that Katrina's death must have been a suicide, which was a ridiculous conclusion on their part. Especially since she would have had the wound in the back of her head from getting clubbed to death.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she killed herself by, swinging a hammer behind her. I don't know.
To knock herself into the river.
Yeah. Andrew starts thinking that them getting away with murder is cool, but Jonathan still seems skeptical. Maybe. It was hard to tell.
Just a sign of a really good actor.
Or really good writing. At the house, Tara tells Buffy that she checked over the spell, and there shouldn't be anything wrong with Buffy. But then she says that Buffy must have been altered by bringing her back just enough to not activate Spike's chip. But wouldn't that possibly make something wrong with Buffy? I don't know. It seemed like her conclusions didn't make sense.
She uses the phrase, "You're different on a basic molecular level."
And then she says it's like getting a sunburn.
But, she's talking about magic, but that's a very scientific way to describe the change.
To describe something that neither of them understands, from either perspective.
Yeah. Buffy refuses to accept Tara's conclusion, saying she's not her, because if she was, why would she let Spike do all those things to her? And at this point, Tara figures out that Buffy and Spike are banging, and she says she'll keep it a secret, which everybody knows is bullshit, so we'll just have to wait for that reveal.
And she tries to tell Buffy that there's nothing wrong with it. If she loves him, she loves him. But Buffy says it is wrong. And she breaks down and tells Tara not to forgive her. What a Buffy. Dead things. Overall.
Okay, typically I give my reasoning followed by my grade, but I'm going to tell you right now that this episode got a big, bold F. And now I'll tell you why. The whole plot of the nerds to have a gangbang rape party with an unwilling sex slave whom they dress in a French maid outfit, really? That's where we are now? I would love to hear the defenders of this writing. And this is not the only time the show has delved into sex with people who don't want it territory.
Hang on, let me defend the writing. For these characters, it made sense. What else would they do? Did you...
Not be in the show.
Well, yes, that would make the show better.
It's no, this is a criticism of the people making the show.
Yeah, okay.
What did the actors think of this episode? What did the actress playing Katrina think when she had to stand there in that maid outfit, holding a champagne bottle, listening to these three guys talk about how they were going to have their way with her?
I thought about that too. It made it awkward to watch.
What did the three guys think reading the script, saying, "Oh shit, I have to say this out loud"? There is a difference between bad and lazy writing and just gross fetish writing, and this show is definitely falling into the latter category.
Well, it is a Joss Whedon show.
Yeah. And why are they torn up after Warren kills Katrina? They have done way worse stuff, and I don't understand why they're so afraid of Buffy finding out everything they do. She doesn't give a shit about them, and as we both said before, as long as they don't perform actions that directly affect Buffy or her slaying work, there is no reason she would find out. And they have done all of this insane shit, both scientific, magical, completely immoral, but they can't figure out how to get rid of a body? Really?
Even if they didn't kill her, they would have had to deal with the fact that they kidnapped her and everything, so...
Warren could just build a robot of her, again, because didn't he already do that?
Yeah, and Jonathan has altered the entire planet's memories before. I don't understand why he hasn't done that again.
I mean, couldn't he just transform into Katrina again, go to somebody and say, hey, I'm moving to Brazil, and then that's the end of her. Everyone says, I guess she moved to Brazil and we never heard from her again.
Yeah.
Shifting to the other part of this episode, Buffy's new moping reason is now that, quote, she's never around. Give me a break. She has real-life responsibilities for once, and it only took her until, her mid-20s to actually have one, and she's all depressed about it? Welcome to real life. And every other character is constantly expounding how Buffy isn't ever really around anymore to help repeatedly attempt to pound that square peg into the round hole. And Dawn lamenting that Buffy can't stand her, despite Buffy professing how much she wants to spend time with Dawn right in front of Dawn. Dawn, I really want to spend time with you. You don't want to spend time with me. Ugh! So now every time Dawn is in a scene, she's going to storm out. F***ing great. And Buffy being presented solid evidence that nothing is wrong with her doesn't jive with Buffy's moping reason, so she refuses to accept the conclusion. Instead says, Terry, you're wrong. There has to be something wrong with me because I can't be, a human. Is she going to quit her job so she can be, quote, around more? What does that even mean? Does she think that if she does that Dawn will automatically ditch all of her friends and her life to spend time with her sister? And Buffy is spending her free time banging Spike anyway, so it's her choice. But she's still playing the victim card. This show is so bad. I also mentioned that most discussion of this episode by fans of the show revolve around Buffy's internal conflict about whether or not she's really wrong, which is completely self-manufactured, and that's ignoring everything else that happened in this episode, which is creepy and weird. This is probably one of the worst episodes so far. It definitely felt like the longest. Who are the people that said Season 6 was the good one, or when, this is when the show finally gets good? You lied. You're lying, and I have proof, because I just watched the episode.
That was me, I think, but...
Anyway, what did you think?
Well, spoiler, I didn't give it an F.
Oh, man.
I didn't give it a D.
I swear to God, if you give it a C or above, we are done. I am not recording any more of these episodes with you.
Okay, my finger was on the B key. I did take it off, but I gave it a C+.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's hear it.
Okay.
And just to be clear, Robert and I do not talk before we record these reviews, so we have no idea what the other person's about to say.
That is true. I didn't mind this episode so much in terms of the Buffy and Spike stuff. I thought that side of it kind of made sense. I liked that it turned out that there wasn't anything different about Buffy, even though there also was. And at least they're saying now that nothing's wrong with Buffy. I wouldn't be surprised if something comes of that later. And I liked how negative the show was about it, instead of Buffy realizing her love for Spike and accepting it or something, and Spike turning a new leaf. Spike is clearly evil here, despite how they have portrayed him in some earlier episodes, when they were just struggling to find a way to get him in there. So overall, I like how that part of things is playing out here, although again it's inconsistent from episode to episode. And Buffy being upset about it makes sense, because she realizes that she's being stupid and making wrong decisions, finally, instead of her being upset because she saw Spike talking to another girl or whatever stupid shit from back when she was with Angel. And I also liked Buffy having to deal with thinking that she killed an innocent person, even if it was dealt with literally 2 minutes later. And we have kind of seen that before with Ted, but they always back off from it. And she has killed people before, but, an innocent person is different. So I liked the Buffy stuff overall. And I liked that the nerds actually did kill someone accidentally, and how they were called out on their behavior first. But they definitely are still dumb, uninteresting, unfunny characters, and I wish they were not in the show. We got a brief scene at the Double Meat Palace. I was hoping for more, but at least it's still there. And I did have a question of how did the demons tie into things? I don't know if I missed something maybe, but at first I assumed that the nerds had cast a spell to confuse Buffy, and that's what the time shifting was, but apparently the demons were real, and it was something with the demons. So where did they come from? I don't think they explained it.
I assume they brought him in.
Yeah, but they didn't address it or anything. It would have been much better if the episode wasn't so all over the place, but I thought the actual contents were mostly fine. So that's what got it a C+ for me.
My finger was on the B key.
I thought about B- because I was like, how much of it is by just that I personally don't like these characters, and how much of it is the actual episode, to go down to a C+, but I still went down to a C+.
I am more irritated at the people behind the show. rather than the people in the show. Because the people in the show just do what they're told.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I still thought this was a slightly better than typical episode, not one of the worst episodes.
Well, I think we're going to have to agree to disagree.
I guess so. So I guess this is the end of our Buffy reviews. Thanks everyone for sticking around so long, wasting so much of your time and our time in editing these videos. We're only sorry it took so long to get to the end.